Lads and ladies, it's Royal over here, and I think I finally figured out the optimal way to craft on Sorare. That's the topic of discussion today, and I say I figured out the optimal way to craft like it's going to be brand new information that revolutionizes crafting. It's not. I'm just super slow in the brain with some things, and the crafting technique has been one of them. Bit of a slow burner. But what spurred on this thinking about crafting with me is that basically in my last Sorare video, I fumbled a StarCraft. It was super upsetting, maybe the worst day of my life, and it went wrong for a few reasons, and I think deep down I actually had a reasonable chance and perhaps should have picked the slot with the star player in. It's of course easy to say that after the fact, you know, we're all experts once the cards get revealed, but you live and die by your crafting decisions, so we have to learn to do it our best, give it our best, give it the good old college try. So obviously a technique of importance when you get a StarCraft drop in the crafting factory is to utilize a crafting helper. That's common sense. There's a few dotted about. I believe Sorare Inside has one. The one I currently use, not sponsored, is linked in the description down below. Simple but effective and gives you the best chance. Easy. But then the last video, I had a few people telling me in the comments that I should have used a league clue instead of a nationality clue with my essence, which was a thinking point for me, as in my head, if you had to pick one, nationality would seem to be the way forward as it narrows down the field a bit more in terms of the amount of players, but you then also have more of a grasp of league potential anyway just by looking at the flavour of your essence, so perhaps nationality would give you more of an insight. You know, if you have mostly champion essence, you can assume your star drop is most likely from one of the big four leagues without actually needing to see the league reveal. That was my initial forethought anyway, and I think you could probably go either way on whether you prefer, you know, league or nationality if you could only pick one clue. But that then made me think of the bigger picture of crafting where it's actually irrelevant if you craft properly. And the reason it's irrelevant is because I finally deduced that you should not be crafting at all in any capacity if you don't have 5k essence in the bank at a scarcity level so that you can afford every available clue. And that's because the value of our essence will mostly be tied up in those star drops that we have about a 10% chance of getting. You know, the 15% chance of a guaranteed T2 can also yield a bit of decent value along the way, but we mostly live for those star drops, of course. You know, if we look at a standard craft, you're not going to use any clues on a standard craft. If you're really lucky, you might bag a 4% chance of getting a T2 or a 2% chance of a T1. You know, that might hold a 10 or so in value or something once in a blue moon, but realistically, you're going to be crafting a bottom tier shitter worth pennies most of the time. The value is just not there in regular standard crafts, basically. It's in the star drops. So going back to my point of why you only want to craft with 5k essence is due to the cost of clues, as mentioned. My mistake last week on my StarCraft was that I crafted with 4.5 essence in the bank, 4.5k essence, meaning I couldn't afford all of the clues available to me. So obviously in that video we saw Vatinia pop out who was worth about £80. Now that's some value and a half right there. And I'd like to think if I could have afforded a league clue as well, then the Liga 1 and Portugal combination would have swayed me to his box and I would have picked the right player. Now, of course, after the fact, it is what it is, no hard feelings. It's a crafting lesson we're going to take with us, but we have to realize if all the crafting value is tied up in these star players, then when we do get a star player drop, we want to be using every clue possible. So that's 1k essence for the craft itself, 2k essence for the best 5, and then a further 2k combined for a league and nationality reveal. And I've done the maths, that's 5k essence right there. And obviously that'll give yourself the best chance of securing the value of your essence. You know, if we say 1,000 essence is maybe worth about £4 of the king's finest when it's unrealized, you know, that's unrealized value right there, we've not used it. But the second you craft, that essence spend becomes the value of the card you've crafted. So in the recent video, a Vatinia of £80 or some Bundesliga 2 shitter worth about £1.50. An extra £4 spend of essence on that final clue is a swing of almost £80 in value. So going forward with crafting, if I have 5.5k essence stored in the account, I can go for a craft. Maybe I get a standard drill, whatever, we pick our card and are done for the day, because any crafts after that are now below that 5k essence threshold I've set for myself. So simply put, if we get a star drop, we're then unable to utilize maximum value from our essence to ensure we have the most information to grab that star card. I waffled a lot there, right? That turned into one big ramble, but I think you get the picture. I really hope. A little caveat I realized after as well is that I crafted the German flag, which obviously covers a lot of the Bundesliga 2 players due to the licensed league there, which wasn't ideal after I thought about it, whereas Portugal may have been more heavily weighted to better players, you know, due to the worser Portuguese league teams not being licensed or not having active in-season cards. So I think in hindsight, if I'd thought about it a bit longer and crafted a bit smarter, I probably could have bagged that star Vitinha in that moment. It is what it is. Very unfortunate. I'm not upset about it. I don't give a fuck, alright? It's fucking, I don't care. I don't care. Now, we don't like to think too much around here. We like to do things off the cuff a bit. But, you know, if we just do it off the cuff a bit more tactically, then maybe next time we can get it right. And speaking of tactics, it's not too late to set yours for Season 13 of Footium, which is kicking off this Tuesday. That's right. This is an advertisement, but it's an interesting advertisement because I've changed the scenery of the video. Flowers. Footium is an online web-free football management game in which you can win real money rewards each season as a club manager, where you have the freedom to assemble your squad, set up your tactics, and train and develop your players over the course of their soccer career. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Royal Livy, what is the average lifespan of a wild Manitoban elk? It's about 15 years, but you also might be thinking, Royal Livy, well, I need crypto knowledge to play Footium. And don't you worry your pretty little face, Footium has got you covered. The game is now more accessible than ever for the wider soccer fan base, with a simple email registration process to set up your account, with Footium sorting out all of the custodial wallet crypto malarkey in the background on your behalf. You can even buy your club and players with a debit or credit card, including the Season 13 starter bundles, where you get a club and 17 players to kickstart your Footium career. And you can sign up using my referral link in the description down below to get free common players for no additional cost once you purchase a starter bundle. There's never been a better time to join, but don't just take it from me, take it from Footium legend Wanzik Cha. Tell him, Wanzik. Fucking say something, dude! Wow, wasn't that just fantastic? And you know what else is fantastic? My cursed champion top 4 team is not fantastic, but we've got one mostly because I already had Fernandez Pardo. He will be captaining this team, and I just went out and got a little Aston Villa duo for about a tenner. Watkins and Rodgers. You know, Ollie Watkins specifically may not be doing so well right now, but I think that might turn around. I think for the price and the gamble, it's gonna be fine. It'll do what it does. I think it's a decent team, all right. Obviously, we've got Johnny at the back to partner my non-Halloween Severa right there. Are his scores any decent? They're sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe less than good. Obviously, if this weekend we can get, you know, some of these kinds of scores, then we're cooking. So hey, we're gonna give it the good old college try here. Am I confident? No, fuck no. But hey, that's the team, that's the dream. What the fuck else we got going on here before we end the video? Ah, cool. Doku, 40%. That was 90% when I did this team yesterday. Well, probably gonna have to look at that and change it. We can have a look now. I don't think I have any cards, right? I'm going to have to buy a forward, aren't I? Oh, fuck me in the dick hole, man. Hey, let's go and buy another Ollie Watkins. No, I'm not going to get another Ollie Watkins, but I'm going to go buy someone. And I've already spotted someone that I'm kind of interested in. You know, Semenyo is a decent shout, but again, I think they're the team playing Man City this weekend, so that's obviously going to be tough and may hurt his scores. So I came down here, and Gordon is decent at 15 quid. It's still a bit spenny. I'm assuming Savinho is, you know, a higher chance to play if Doku's not playing, so I thought about him as well. But I'm actually settling on Yeremy Pino of Crystal Palace for a few reasons. One, he's looked really good as they've been playing this season. He's been getting a lot of game time recently. You know, his Sorare scores may not fully convert every time, but overall he's looking all right as part of a dangerous attack there. And also, you got midweek European utility. You can see their little AZ fixture coming up. Can't knock that at all. Also plays for Spain at the moment, which did surprise me. But hey, he's a good player. He's quite young, only 22, so there's a lot of future potential there. And also, home to Brentford. Probably a favourable fixture. I feel like now is a decent time to buy him. Brighton at home in the league the weekend after. Again, that's not too bad of a fixture. I think all of that combined for £7, hey, that's A-OK with me. Welcome to the team, Yeremy Pino. Money well spent. Hey, we'll find out in the soon. So there we go. Pino's in. Foden moved to the captain. What else have we got? Decent little Liga Un team. I think going for the second hot streak this week. So that's going to be tough with Nice having PSG and Pardo being in my Halloween team, but it is what it is. Not really too bothered about that one. Some La Liga fun going on. As you can see, I've got a team that looks pretty good here on the left. A little classic Bellingham in here. You know, Fornells is in form. Anthony's doing all right. And obviously the team to the right of that looks less appetizing, what with Real Madrid being littered with 40%ers now. It's always a bit hard with Real Madrid. You assume they're resting players for some midweek shenanigans coming up in the Champions League. You know, so I still think Valverde's probably going to start. I feel like 40% is probably a bit low there. Vinny's obviously fighting with the board right now. I think he did apologise. Maybe that's impacted his number a bit. Militao's in great form. Not sure why he's low. They're just all in one team, all right? I'm sure that team won't go well, but there's some nice players. And then Bundesliga. 2 teams here. This team on the left, a little Munich-Dortmund matchup. Pretty nice. Pretty nice no script right there. Team on the right, less nice. But hey, they're all expected to play. There's some possibilities there. We're starting from ground zero in Bundesliga, so if they can do the business, then happy days. Let's see what else we got. The MLS, some competitions going on. Everyone's expected to play. Got little Rodrigo de Paul common there, up with the Messi-Suarez duo, little Austin back line. Some rare teams going for some in-season hot streaks. There's still possibilities here with a few weeks left of the MLS season, some limited stuff. Unfortunately, they're both starting at 0 again. I missed last week's hot streaks, so we can only go so far this season, but hey, we'll see what they can do. And then we got some contender teams, you know, in season going for the hot streak. We got a little Elversberg and a Colston heel stack. And kind of the same thing there. Fucking fuck. And then we got the champion. Just a bunch of shit here. Danny Raba is not actually going to be in this team. With about an hour to go at the deadline, I can pull a card out of the vault. And I'll be pulling out a limited Rafael Leao. I'll lose 200 points on him. I'm pretty sure we can go check in a second. But hey, that's the team. Might have to look at replacing Thiago Tomas there with someone. Hey, little West Ham stack. That's not going to go well, but they're home. That's all I've already got going in their favour. So we'll see what they could do. And then let's finish it off with whatever the fuck this is. All-Star? Yeah, it must be All-Star. Some teams here at rare level. A bunch of super rare players I need to sell, honestly. And then the main All-Star team at Limited is here. Ederson, for £6 was a really nice purchase. We got the Bromby fellas here. Little decent front two there in Jew and Corridor. Yeah, that's it, really. And a 0% captain. Fuck's sake, man. This fucking game is just full of cunts who don't want to play football. Who the fuck do I even put in here? Villalba, he's listed on the market. Mendes, Josh Cullen against Arsenal. That sounds fucking dumb. I'm just gonna do Braze Mendes. What a fucking awful team. And we're gonna captain him because fuck it, nothing's gonna come from it, so can't be bothered to change it. Clicking it would have been a waste of my time. And as mentioned, here we are. We've got the vault, currently level 6, a bit away from level 7, but a bit clear of level 5. We've got some good players in here that we're hoping to pull out in the future. Rafael Leao, as Jess mentioned, for AC Milan, back in the team, back in form. Injury in 60%, that wasn't there yesterday when I had a look, but probably just going to pull him out anyway, because who gives a fuck. Obviously, we've got Musiala. Milinkovic-Savic is doing all right. I've got another goalie in Zetter, Lopez, injured Jota. Again, some more players with injuries. Isco, Dejan Kulusevski. Garnacho's back playing now. It could pull him out. How much chance does he have of playing? 40%. Gonna keep him in there. Obviously, the big one is Rafael Leao this week, and Musiala if he eventually becomes alive again. So I guess that's it. That's the whole video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time because I love you.